Let's begin by imagining that we're looking down on a water droplet on a leaf as we saw it in the photograph. When we draw a water droplet, we have to make sure that it is perfectly and beautifully rounded, and there mustn't be any wibbly wobbly bits where you join up. We need to make sure that we're just perfect, and the reason for that is surface tension with the water. It doesn't have edges and angles, it is all completely beautifully rounded. We're going to use a pencil because I think that using this will really make us understand what and how it all works. And I'm going to imagine right now that my light is coming from here. That means it's going to hit this side of the water and it will travel through and it will come out this side through here. Working on the principle of dark against light and light against dark, I would be thinking that I need to initially shade all of this here. Just bear with me because it really does sound and feel counterintuitive. So I'm going to shade that, and using my lovely little torchon, let's just shade it properly, and there you go. These are wonderful, they're little cardboard sticks and you can sharpen them and they blend all types of pencils beautifully. So that gives me my shadow in the front edge of my water droplet. This, because it is curved, the shape of it, looking at it in profile, is like this. So where it's curved, it casts a shadow here. This is the side that we've just coloured. That casts a shadow here. If it is a big fat water droplet, it will cast a nice long shadow. And if it is a little flat one, it could be the same size but flat, it would be a little shadow. So now we decide whether we want this to be fat or thin. And I'm going to put shadow under here and get the curve. You start from there, and then you curve this edge as well. And I'm going to come in again with this and just blend away like that. So we've got quite a chunky water droplet there, casting a shadow with the dark on the side that the light is coming through. Just remember that the dark is on the side that the light comes into and hits first. And the thing that makes this really ka-ching is when you come into it and you take out the light here. Several ways of doing that. You can come in and you can add white and use gouache, or you can do it with a rubber. I'm just going to use a little electric rubber, and I'm coming in here. And once we have the light source in here, that gives the whole thing a ka-ching. If you wanted to, you could continue that and take the light out through the back edge of this, like that. But the long and short of it is, light comes in here, hits it, you need the dark around it to make that show up, and then it comes out through the other side. With this one here, same applies. I want my light to come in from this direction here. Make sure it is curved. It's got to be curved, my lovelies, because if it isn't, imagine you've got a water droplet like that. That's a very, very thin, fine water droplet, but it would still have that minuscule curve there, and that is the surface tension. So this one again, we're going to put some shadow in here, like this. And again, that can be as much and as little as you want it to be, depending on your light levels. And again, I'm going to come in and just gently, gently blend it, like so. And all I need to do is come in with the rubber and give it that real bright light ka-ching. And that is what gives you the whole impression that that is water and it's shining. Now, how does that translate when we're going to paint it? Let me show you. Let's start up here in the first instance so that you can see it in profile. I've got a really lovely fine brush. This is a number 2. Against my hand you can see how small that is. And that's just what I want to get into the nooks and crannies and to be able to, you know, really be the master of this. I want to use Payne's Grey. I like Payne's Grey for this job. It's just very neutral and it works very well. And my first job is holding the brush quite upright so that I'm just using the tip of the brush. I want to come in here and repeat what I did with the pencil in the first instance. There we go, and give myself that beautiful shape, that circle, that oval. It's not a circle, Sharon. And here I'm coming in and I just want to lay in the dark there. And I rinse and I dab my brush and come into it from the light side and just stroke it. Don't come into it, I'm going to come in again with a clean brush. Don't come into it and pull the colour out. That always leads to a mess and disaster. So you just, and keep on cleaning and dab off the extra liquid on your cloth or on your tissue until you're happy that you've got that lovely curve. That's all you need to do in the first instance. Wait until it's dry and then we go back. In this instance I'm going to use some white gouache because it's good and chalky and thick and shows up well. I don't need a lot, and that needs to be single to double cream thickness. Just use enough water to manipulate it to get hold of it like this, and then I want to just drop in that highlight, and my word, look, that oh, it just gives it that ka-ching, doesn't it? Doesn't it work? And we have water. So now let's have a go at looking at our water droplet from above, and we're looking down on it and it's just a puddle on a leaf like this. Same applies. Come in for your Payne's Grey, and I'm using this at single cream, full fat milk texture, and I want to make sure I get a beautiful shape. I'm going to try my very best here, like that. There we go. I'm using my little finger as a kind of marl stick, I'm not moving my fingers, I'm using my whole hand and just leaning on that. It really works. Now I need more of my Payne's Grey, so here we go, and I want to this time lay in this shadow here. Now get to it before it dries, this is really important, otherwise we'll have a hard line. Rinse, dab on your cloth, and then come in, keep it damp, that edge. Rinse and dab, come back, and just stroke it. Don't go in and jab it about and pull it around, just stroke it and follow the shape that you want to echo. And you do that, keep coming out and out and out until you're happy and you don't have any watermarks. So that's our dark side. You remembering that our light is coming from over here? Of course you are. You're not daft, are you? I'm just reminding myself. And then with this one, I want to make this, we did a fat shadow before, didn't we, for a fat water droplet. This time let's make it a little shallower. So this one is not quite as high, not as large a drop. So I'm just going to come round there, and then I rinse, and I'm just doing this dab thing on my cloth each time, just to make sure that my brush is damp but not sodden. Rinse, dab again, keep it clean. I'm actually painting at the moment with mixed media because it would appear that I have some cat fur on my brush. Lovely. Honestly, you can't get away from them. I love them dearly, but my word, they follow me everywhere, even when they're not there. There we go. So, a bit more. There. Just keep coming out until there is no more leakage and no watermarks. And then the same applies. This is already dry because it's a scorching hot day here. And I'm going to dab into my white gouache and give that a lovely... If you want to, of course, you can do a couple of little extras as though there were lights over here and it was shining on there. And if I wanted to, just a little bit of light coming out through there. But that is how we paint a water droplet. Let me just show you something else. How does that translate to the real thing like this? What do we do to achieve that? I would always paint the real thing first, get it done, paint it. I've got the veins on the flower here, and if I possibly can, I would always paint my water over a feature, because then you can see it through it, and that gives it real veracity, you know, it makes it real. So on here, let's come in and paint over some of these veins. The flower's purple, and what I've done is I've actually painted the little water droplets in purple as well, because of course they would pick up on, the water would pick up on the colour of the flower, and you'd get the echo and the reflection. So in here, where we've got a lot of these, let's come in and I'm going to do a larger one like this. I want to, you can see that my light on the previous droplets is coming from up here where this light area is, so I want to come in here and make this side a bit darker, rinse and dab, and then come in and just blend that. And then I need to make the shadow on my side here. I'll say I'd like a bit of a darker purple than that. I think that's a bit too pale, so I'm just coming in again with a darker purple. And then I want my shadow this side. Rinse and dab. Rinse, dab again, so that you can pull it right away and just make it disappear. And then I want to just leave that to dry. Whilst it's drying, we could come up here and we could drop something up here on the tip of the petal. So again, I'm going for my dark purple, and up here I want to drop in that sort of shape. Light coming from this direction, so I'm going to put some dark there, rinse and dab, and then come in and gently blend like that. Just take a little bit out, that's a bit too much, isn't it? You can't see the blue through it. I want to see the blue. And then we take our white again, and as thickly as we can, without making it too stodgy, I want to come in, drop in my light, and then drop in my light up here. And that is so effective, isn't it? You've got to admit. Now what do we do if we want water somewhere where it's dark? Oh, that's different now. Now we turn the tables and we do something completely different. Now I have to paint with white. So I take this and I come in here and I now have to do my white circle. Oh, I've got to make sure that's perfect. Okay, we'll want a little bit here because I just want to smudge that. Gently, gently, just keep working it. As long as it's wet, you can just gently, gently come into that and go to blend all around the edges. I don't need a shadow on this one because, of course, you wouldn't see it. The shadow against the darkness of the background would be nonsense. You wouldn't see it. So I'm just taking paint out now to get the texture that I want. Like that. There we go. And now instead of having a white reflection on this, we do two things. We come in and we take our Payne's Grey, and I'm now going to drop negative space into there, like that. And you'd have some bits and pieces of darker shadow in there. Gently, gently blend them in. Oh, cat fur again. Goodness gracious me. Do you know what they've been doing? They've been sitting on my cloth. Little monsters. And now I've put some dark back in. I can still see the purpley colour underneath. And now I'm going to put a chain like that. Now if you found that interesting, why don't you have a look at this video next?